call the Board of Trustees regular meeting Tuesday, September 4th, 2018 at 6:30 to order. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Approval of meeting agenda. Any additions, deletions?
I have none. I make a motion that we accept the agenda as written.
Second.
Tie. Motion by Trustee Clifford, supported by Trustee Gurley. Any other questions, discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of minutes 8/13/2018.
I just have one, the minutes show that the recording secretary was Karen Pauls. That's just a typo and it will be fixed before they go into the record.
Okay.
It's already been fixed.
All right.
Oh, okay. So now they're fixed, the ones in our packet are not, so that will be corrected, is corrected.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of 8/13/2018 with the correction of the recording secretary.
Second.
Motion by Treasurer Honnold, supported by Clerk Kendall. Any other discussion? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 5, public announcements. Any public announcements at this time? No public announcements. Number 6, public comment. No public comment at this time. Number 7, consent agenda. All items listed under this consent agenda are considered routine by the Township Board and will be enacted by one motion. According to established Township meeting rules, there will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the Board or public so requests at or prior to the meeting, in which event the chair of the meeting may remove such items from the consent agenda for discussion and consideration under agenda item number 8 below. Approval of the consent agenda shall be by a majority roll call vote of those present and voting.
On our invoice list this time around, we have a total of $549,656.51 in invoices to be paid.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda with the invoices of $656,51.
Second.
Motion by Treasurer Honnold, supported by Trustee Clifford. Deputy Clerk, roll call, please.
Honnold.
Aye.
Clifford.
Aye.
Kendall.
Aye.
Gurley.
Aye.
Trombley.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. No items removed from consent agenda. Number 9, there is no unfinished business. Number 10, new business. Letter A, Fire Department Garage Door Opener Replacement Project. Chief Boucher, please.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
You should all have a copy of my letter dated the 28th. This is a project that was budgeted for in the new budget year that we are now in. As you know, our building was built in 1989, and so a lot of things are still original. And back in the spring, we had to have one of the doors worked on. Because of the age of the garage door openers, you can't get parts for them anymore. So we knew this was coming, so the repair company told us, you better start looking at complete removal and repair and purchasing new ones. So I've gone out and obtained 4 quotes, and you've got a copy of all the quotes. And Citywide Door Company is our regular maintenance company that we use, DPW uses, as well as Richmond Lennox EMS uses.
What's your recommendation, Chief?
My recommendation is that we do award this contract to Citywide Door, even though they're not the lowest, at $8,625.
Thank you. Any questions for the chief?
No problems with their service, eh, chief? You're
Not at all.
Okay. I make a motion, we accept the chief's recommendation and the bid of Citywide Door Company at $8,625 to replace the garage door system at number 1.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Clifford, supported by treasurer Honnold. Any other question or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Chief. Okay. Letter B, Family Medical Leave Act Policy Language Amendment. Attorney Chapman, are you handling this one?
Go for it if you want.
I'm happy to if you'd like.
Please do.
Yes. This has to do with the township's policy manual, which includes employee matters. This particular item would be a proposed amendment to section 4.18 of that policy manual relating to Family Medical Leave Act provisions pertaining to township employees. And this was a change recommended by Attorney Laura Amsbuchler of my office, who's an employment law, labor law specialist. And she saw this in the policy manual. As you know, she participated in much of the efforts to update this policy manual a couple of years ago, and through some experiences she's had, she saw an item that could use some clarification and perhaps some better language in the policy manual regarding the calculation of amount of FMLA leave that an employee might be entitled to. And what she's proposing is a change that you can see in section 4.18 that would allow for what essentially is a rolling year for calculating the 12-month period. So it's somewhat of a look back and look forward of the 12-month period, so that an employee won't get stuck with these hard lines of 12-month chunks, and instead could roll things forward and keep things moving as need be. So this isn't a major change. It's really something of a clarification to make sure it's very clear for both employees and the township should this situation arise. There's no situation that came up that caused this to occur, just in case anybody was wondering. Nobody was disappointed or received
Just
something.
keeping on top of stuff.
This is just keeping on top of it. So if the board is inclined to agree with this change, it would be a simple motion to amend section 4.18 of the township's policy manual as it currently exists, to include the language regarding the calculation of the 12-month period.
Make a motion that we approve the changes to the employee manual, section 4.18, Family Medical Leave Act, to reflect a change in the paragraph stating we have a 12-month period, which is a rolling 12 months, as suggested by the attorney's office.
I second.
Motion by Clerk Kendall, supported by trustee Clifford. Any other questions or discussion? Does that require roll call?
It doesn't have to be a roll call motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Letter C, Enernoc Water Billing Adjustment Request.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This
I'm sorry. Good evening.
request is coming from the billing company for waste management on water billing. Their June bill, they received late, not on our fault, because I mailed it on the 6th. They, for some reason, just didn't get it. They were the only one of our customers that did not get their bill. So they're asking for a waiver of the penalty.
And this is not a reflection on waste management. This was due to a billing company, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, for further clarification, they informed us that they did not receive their bill not until the 22nd.
No, actually, when they got the next one, and then it was penalty. The first two, they didn't make contact. And this, on the 25th of June, when they called, they just called asking for a copy of their bill.
Right.
They didn't tell me why they needed it or that
Just
they
for
hadn't received theirs.
clarification purposes, they stated they called once and no one answered. We found no record of that phone call, correct? As we're
Correct.
looking through it. The next phone call was made on a Friday, they stated. So then they waited again and called again, and then they didn't disclose to us that there was a problem other than send a bill. Which they could have disclosed to us, we would have been happy to work with them at that time, but didn't disclose to us that there was any type of problem. So based on that, they dropped the ball, didn't notify us. Typically, their bill was received around the 11th or 12th of every month. So that was some time took place where they could have contacted us way earlier to let us know that they hadn't received it. All the bills were sent out though. So somebody dropped the ball over there, in my opinion. We would have worked with them. They have to
Absolutely.
communicate with us. I do not believe we should waive the penalty. The penalty should be enforced, just like we do on everybody else. So that's my feeling on it. Any other questions or discussion?
If one of our residents calls before the due date and let me know that they're having an issue for whatever reason,
Or companies.
or
And
companies,
Anybody
but
who calls us will be happy to work with.
yes, we work with them. If they can pay anything before, we always work with them, but not to be notified until after the fact.
You can't.
I-
You can't-
we don't
You can't do
do-
business like that.
Right.
So, that would set a standard for everybody doing that. We can't function like that. Any questions?
I have none.
Have they ever done this before? Has this ever happened with them before?
Have somebody request,
This particular company, has this ever happened with them before? This is the first time?
I believe this is the first time.
Attorney Javik.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, Township Board members, I did take a look at the ordinance to see whether there are any provisions in the water and sewer ordinance
That's the other problem.
regarding a procedure or mechanism by which the board had the authority to forgive or grant leniency or waive this requirement. There is not. It says that they shall be paid, and if they're not paid on time, there shall be a penalty, essentially. It's called something else in the ordinance. So that boils it down to, since there's not a procedure for doing it, it would be a decision, and what they're asking for essentially is for the Township Board to waive its ordinance requirements in their particular situation. From a legal perspective, if you were to waive it under these circumstances, for this customer of the system, then other customers, whether they be residential or large corporations, would essentially have a pretty good case if they came back under the similar circumstances of also having a good case to ask for a waiver. So you might get a lot of requests like this over time. So when it comes down to waiving existing ordinance requirements where there's no procedure for doing so, my advice is always step very carefully. You have those ordinances in place for a reason, and treating everybody equally as under equal circumstances is very important.
Thank you.
That being said, I will make a motion that, based on the fact that our ordinance does not give us the authority to waive the late fee, that the late fees remain as they have been charged.
I'll second.
Motion by Clerk Kendall, supported by Treasurer Arnold. Any other question or discussion?
I have none.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Letter D, park restroom discussion.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We're here to seek the board approval to move forward with the design and survey and construction of the proposed concession and bathroom building in the park. I believe Cam has shared with you some preliminary drawings that we've done, some preliminary numbers that we put together, and we'd like to move forward if the board would like us to put the package together for next year's construction.
That would still all be subject to our review and approval, but this is just giving them authorization to go forward.
Absolutely.
I understand that. I would sure like to see this get going.
Me.
Also,
So far, it's been a long time coming.
make a motion, we authorize Mr. Med and Cam, whoever's doing this, to go ahead with the design proposals and whatever they need to do to push the project forward.
I second.
Motion by trustee Clifford, supported by trustee Gurley. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Public comment, number 11. Any public comment? Number 12. Need a motion, please.
I make a motion, we adjourn at 6:47.
Second.
Motion by Treasurer Hamel, supported by trustee Gurley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?